Slop. That's the word Simon Wilson gave us back in 2024 for unwanted AI-generated content. The stuff that floods your newsfeed because no one behind it reviewed it. Now look at this 3D scene. All what you see, all objects, textures, character was generated by AI. So does it make it slop? Absolutely no. And the difference isn't just the tool, it's the judgment. The second you keep it, AI becomes a tool and work becomes yours. And in this video, I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna walk you through my whole professional workflow, how I created this location from concepting, then 3D generation, hand assembly, iteration, color correction, and many more. And I show you exactly why judgment matters that much and why only that way you can create something great. Watch this video till the end and you will never confused again. So where it all starts from the idea and the concepts. Of course, we always go here. And this step actually defines your whole work. The amount of decisions you need to make at this step is probably the most compared to all other stages. So how did I come up with this idea? I did quite a lot of iteration to just get these images. And here you can see my board in Figma. So I would say like I just don't have the footage, but even to get here, it took me like a day and I was keeping this idea for a while, right? Like, so I wanted to create something really cool, like to show like the possibilities and stuff. And I want to make it meaningful. And also I have some idea in the background like that I put here into this idea. So it should be like a cozy. I'm actually like this style. Even from what I say, you already can feel that I put some heritage there. That's also very important to track. How do we approach this? So first of all, we're gonna need to extract plenty of parts to start creating that. This concept that you might see, it's not the final concept. I'm gonna use it as inspiration, and the final concept I'm gonna build up myself in Blender. So let's review what objects I'm gonna extract. I'm not gonna extract like big parts. Instead, I'm gonna create multiple rocks, stones, lights, etc., flags, accessories, trees, leaves, small bushes, bamboo. Oh, by the way, bricks. Yeah, I'm gonna actually build up some bases from the bricks, because if I'm gonna generate it at once, I will have less control over the shape. And I do not want to make it like 100% perfect and to try to do that imperfection with AI possible, but again, I will have less control, and if I don't like something, I'm gonna rework it. Like, you're gonna see that later. So here is a bunch of things that I created. You can see them all. It's definitely not necessary to try to predict all the parts that you might need, and frankly speaking, not all the objects was extracted before I started to build up the scene. Some was added along the process, and every object here was reviewed by me, and it contained the story. So this is a secret place of a white fox who is a scientist, and there is like a lot of attributes. Also, what was very important for me at this stage is to make this object work together. Like, so there's like one story, and here's the character. The character should be simple and small just to fit the location. The character really, in my understanding, needed to have only one key attribute, and this is the magic hat. That's really what I wanted. Like, you can really distinguish what is the character about. And this is one of the longest stage, because you need to create and extract images that actually make sense. And the next step is to create 3D models. All the images and 3D models, it's convenient to use tools like 3D AI Studio, where they're all at once. So here again, like, you create images. When you're happy with the images, you collect all the images and you can start to create 3D models right away. For me right now, there are two favorites. It's definitely Tripod P1 because it creates low poly model right away, which is absolutely great. Another one can be Prism 3.1, can be Huion 3.1 Pro for some styled objects, but really I found myself Tripod P1 to be sufficient. As for settings, when you use P1, you definitely need to control the poly count. It supports from 0 to 20k polygons. You really never go to 20k. So the objects are relatively small. Again, like, you pretty much control the polygons, like the door, the stuff. It can be really like 3, 4, 5,000 polygons at max. So that's more than enough. So just like that, you're gonna need to create all the assets. And being honest, that's the easiest part here. You just go and create them all one by one. You're gonna need to review the results. I also paid attention and just look how awesome the results are, especially with the stones and stuff. Look pretty decent. In some cases, when you need quite detailed objects, it might be making sense to create it with Prism 3.1 and then do the retopology, which is also available here. And since you will have all the images in your workspace here, you can always iterate, you can add, and it's very easy to contain. I still use it with combination with Figma because Figma is more like my mood board, and also to show you guys the process. And also 3D AI Studio has very simple thing that no other AI tools have, is like a batch download. You can pretty much select some objects and download them at once or delete. Alright, so I'm gonna review all the objects. Some are perfect enough, some will need some fine-tune. I'm gonna show you how I address texture imperfections, and especially again, like my project is designed to be later used with the toon shader. I know which style to choose to save on time and what actually works better right now. I'm gonna download all the objects and process them. And if you guys want to try this 3D AI Studio, there is a link in the description with the promo code. I really recommend it as all-in-one tool. It has all the frontier models such as Tripa, Hunyon, Meshi in one place by one subscription together with the top image models. Okay, now some objects usually do need to revisit a texture. With this one, I usually use Modif or do some manual touch-up in Blender or Substance Painter if I work with PBR setup. So in this case, I imagine it as toon shader. It's not just a shortcut for me, but I also just like the style quite a lot. And how the Modif tool works is that you can drop the object there and pretty much project it from the texture. For some objects, I also had to fix a little bit UV. Some objects, I even created a simple shape and then texture it in Modif, like this walls. Or also with the books, with the cover of the books, I come up with the idea that I can actually create a simple primitives and just do the unwrapping myself and put this on the books, right? From the image that I generated in Nano Banana. Why not? I mean, there's so many ways like you can do that. For some object that might be very straight, again, like a bricks, so walls, some wood parts, it might be a bit difficult to generate them extremely accurate in shape with straight lines. So in that case, again, like I just do the primitives, unwrap them and texture in Modif, or again, you can also do the texturing in 3ds Studio, like the whole texturing of the object. Also does very nice job. The same way, by the way, I also created the character. It was quite simple. The character is not that complicated. Small one. The only thing I did is that I recreated the eyeball. And again, like when you create it with Tripa P1, it's quite straightforward because you can easily select that eyeball, which is already the eyeball, and there is a space behind it, which is actually amazing. Like you move so much faster, so really recommend to use it. And again, in 3D AI Studio, you do have tools on top of that, such as retopology, all that stuff. Like you can really iterate very quick based on your needs. Then for the character again, some fine-tune in Modif just to get like the most of the control. And also I did some rigging in Acro Rig later. So that's how it's done. And now I do have all the objects and I'm ready to start building up. Here you can see all of them in Blender, and well, let's start the process. There's quite a lot to take care, right? And I intentionally don't build it from big pieces as I mentioned, because then it will lose the history. So even at this stage, you already can see how many decisions it takes to actually get here, right? You go over each object you created, you generate it with AI, you do the review, then you do the polishing of the texture. Again, like if you starting skip all that parts, then nothing good will come up. I'm intent to bring to life my idea, and I'm using AI as a tool. The old judgment, like what's good, what's bad, where everything gonna be placed, how I gonna shape this all is on me. I put the story, I'm responsible for all the decision. So this is my work. And you know, guys, I'm not the only one who actually come up with this idea. There is a brilliant article called Taste is the New Bottleneck. And I actually found it when I was preparing for the video, and it's is actually very nice. It's shaping all my thoughts together. And I really believe that in upcoming future, where there are so much amazing tools that can do quite a lot fast, it's super important that we develop our text. Now, a lot of people seeing this technology and also influenced by the success of all of this YouTube, Instagram, luxury life, saying like, oh, you just build the AI automation and you get like the millions. They think that AI is some place where you're gonna need just to set the content machine and it will just produce something and you're gonna earn like a lot money on the YouTube and stuff like that. That's basically the slot machines they are building, and it's not even working. The cases where it really works are quite different from what you imagine. There are some ideas, but not good ones. They use the psychology and the manipulation techniques to actually grab your attention, and that's why you watch that slop and they earn the money. But you're never gonna earn any money just telling AI to build up something great. That never happens, at least in the near future. So I really encourage you guys to develop the taste. Learn what's good, why it's good. Learn how to shape your stories. With AI, again, it's also easy to learn this stuff. I found myself in the position that I actually enjoying this process, and while doing like thumbnails for YouTube or like videos for YouTube or characters for YouTube, I do iterate on that quite a lot. How to make a character that will show some new features that AI can do, but also to make that character look interesting so you guys watch this video, but also to solve the task, to tell some story, etc. So I learned a lot what makes the character great, and there will be a separate video on my channel about some rules that I use to create good characters, same as for this location. And while I was talking about that, you can see how I progress. So I built up the house first. Again, I created quite a lot of small elements. I was reshaping them, and again, my goal was to make it look good and to take care about all details, and that was quite enjoyable. Before, to get on this stage, you need to create every single object with 3D, texture them. That's a lot of energy and time. And by getting on this stage, when you need to take care about assembly, basically the reason why you create those 3D models to come up with this location, right? And by the time you get here, you usually lose all your energy, all your creative energy, what's most importantly, and then you just create something, and then you need some time to recover and revisit it and start actually building this up. And anytime like you're stuck somewhere in the middle, like you need the object here and there, you're gonna need to go back to the modeling. It again takes a lot of time, and so that is quite long process. That's why like some locations I'll build with big teams and for months. That was absolutely normal. Now, this whole project was created by one person in just few days. And the fact that you can always go back to a 3D generation, generate few additional objects and keep up building. That's actually what I do. I build up all the building blocks, then start building. Then at some point when I need them, I go back, generate it, because it's fast. And again, like you just drag and drop it back to Blender and like, let's go. Why I'm using Blender to do all of this composition? Because it's way easier for me than doing all of this in Unreal Engine. And I think like a lot of people will agree with me. And to be honest, from what you see, I'm not doing really the modeling. I barely edit any mesh. I just move, rotate, duplicate, blah, blah, blah. That you can learn very, very fast as basic controls. But if you guys are serious about it, I have great news for you. I recently launched my full 3D AI course where I'm gonna guide you from A to Z how to create your own character, how to create props for games. We're gonna cover all models such as concepting, 3D generation, sculpting, grid typology, UV, baking, texturing. I'm gonna show you how wisely use AI to speed up extremely. The key idea of the course is to give you 10% to achieve 90% of anything. The link is in the description. So after like few hours, we already have our scene coming up to life. And here you can see some decision that I made in terms of like how I want this ladder go around. It's a bit different from the reference. And I also decided not to build up that big stone. And I definitely wanted to have more trees. So here is my complete scene version 1. I was not happy with it. It was good, but I wasn't happy. So why wasn't happy, like about two straight to solid shapes, and I wanted way more details, right? So here's like the basic shape. So let's add up more details. So I went back to 3ds Studio, generated a few more assets, which you can see, prepared them the same way, and as quickly as it can be, I'm already back to my scene. And then we start to put all these details all around. And that was super fun, super easy. Like you can see all the thing recorded. I'm moving quite fast, right? Just again, guys, the only difference between me and you in this case is that I just know the hotkeys in Blender, how to manipulate with the objects. But trust me, one evening and you can do the same exactly thing. There's no sacred magic in it. And of course, I added like more green around, and now it looks so much better. Just look at this. Yeah, I also set some lights in Blender. That is absolutely useless because I'm gonna bring it to the Unreal Engine anyway. And yeah, I mean, look, there's a story now. It actually starts to make sense. So now I'm ready to move it to the Unreal Engine. I already prepared some simple scene with a lot of trees. Gonna confess, all these trees that you see are free assets from Fab. There's just like some assets of mountain that form this sort of landscape. I'm gonna now add my scene to this location. So there is some stuff with the landscape. We're gonna need to bring it up. We're gonna need to set the character. Again, all of that is quite simple. I'm gonna use a third-person platformer as a template for all of this, and that's gonna be simple. Okay, we're gonna work on the landscape, and pretty much in Unreal Engine, like you only work with big objects. You don't want to play with the details. The maximum you want to do is like to set shaders and control some colors, which I'm gonna do because you're gonna set the environment, the light here, and to be honest, guys, this is quite a job. If you try to make a nice looking image and you're gonna judge yourself, you're gonna see that working with colors, with the contrast, it can be quite difficult because right now, if you take a look on my scene, it is extremely colorful. Then you cannot really see the color accents, like you can see it all at once, right? And that's something I also learned over time. And also the whole composition is very important. I build up this scene in mind that there will be a mist covering this ground, and there will be just some trees seen through like just the peak of the trees. So that's why I set the mist, and that was so amazing. I mean, Unreal Engine gives so much options right now. I don't know how to explain how satisfied I am to doing that. Just look at this mist, just look at this result. Woo, it adds so much. This is exactly how I imagined it. We're gonna still play with the light, but before that, of course, we're gonna need to bring life with some animations. And in Unreal Engine, also easy to add some animated like cloth, flags, some leaves, and yeah, you can see I'm started to build it up. For that, you're also gonna need to know some extra features, and I also wanted to animate lights. In AnimGraph, I did some simple animations, go back like up and down, nothing crazy. Again, that's quite easy to learn, but I'm also working on the video, not really the video, but how to use Cloud Code or Codex inside the Unreal Engine. So we're testing quite a lot of MCP, so that one is definitely also gonna be easier quite soon. And there are already, spoiler, MCP that allow to do the blueprints, especially the blueprints. And not only you build up the blueprints, but you also learn what they do. You can control them, like you can adjust them. All right, so my scene slightly coming to life, and I already can walk around a bit and see the movement, like the trees, and that's so nice, guys. Like you actually give it life, you go around, you enjoy all of this. All right, so it's time to do the correction. I was playing quite a lot with different combinations, like whether it will be cold, warm, etc., and I figure out that for this one, I want it to be a bit cold because the mist, the time is like post-evening, or like warm colors were distracting sort of from the main thing. So here is before and after. So before, when I was combining the scene, we can see like the problem what I saw is that it's sort of like no contrasts, no accents. And now the final one looked like this. So you still see plenty of objects, and when you're gonna walk around, you're gonna see them. But now we do have the high accents on the house, and the lights are there also doing the job. So that's how I imagined it. Now I'm actually happy with the lights, but there's still a lot for me to learn, and I do enjoy this process. I mean, I learned so much over it, and of course I connected the character later, and here we go. look at this amazing scene. And just tell me now, like, does anyone dare to call this a slop? Like, every single object here was placed by these hands. I decided where it's placed for them. I decided like how I gonna put them all together, where the bricks are a bit broken, where they are straight, etc. What will be visible from this window and what's happening in this house. Basically, you see all the details, they're making sense, they're relevant to the character. This is not a slop anymore. Use it as a tool and enjoy creating. Bring your ideas to life, tell your stories. And there's a lot of successful examples how people or like some producers use this AI, creating like music videos, etc., and telling the stories that are extremely meaningful. And AI there is nothing but a tool. Okay guys, to prepare for this video, to put it all in nice story, it was quite difficult for me. I was preparing, thinking about quite a lot. So I really ask you to click that like and subscribe button and that ring bell button. I really need your support, guys, to keep up making this content for you guys. That was Steph. See you in the next videos.